Ian, y'all sent Miller back to pad?
Yes, so. Any other questions?
Not
I
at the moment. Not at the moment.
Okay, let me know.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How are you? Haven't seen you, Miss McLeod.
I've been fine. Thank you for asking, Your Honor.
Good. All right. We'll get started here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. And soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has accused these cases of the offenses brought against them. And the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge. So we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I will also be providing you with the reset date for an arraignment or for these cases on the calendar. And what's that reset date?
It's going to be March 14th.
Okay. March 14th for SAP. I want to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to have representation, an attorney to represent you at this juncture. And you should know who your attorney is by this time. And so listen to your attorneys. They're here to represent you. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences in your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they are listening. So who do we have first, deputies?
Your I just have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Miss Cedrica Young, she wasn't on the calendar.
Uh-huh.
And also Arthur Gordon. Talk to me, Walker.
Those are going to be NODs.
He picked the right person, didn't he?
Seriously, Mr. Walker, is Gordon an OD?
Yes, Mr. Cook.
Okay.
I was being serious. They're both NODs.
Okay.
Appreciative.
No problem.
All right. So we're going to go to position number one, Miss Davenport. Miss Davenport.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think he doesn't have the amended one, but I think we'll still be okay. Because there was a late amended calendar, correct?
Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah, because Davenport was 2 for me.
Okay, so who's one?
Brumskin.
Rumskin's at ACDC. We may want to wait on her a while.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
So I'll just say the names instead of
That's fine.
Yeah. This is going to be Miss Davenport.
Okay. This is 24 CR 000941. Shawan Davenport, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count of willful obstruction, pretrial.
5th arrest. She got hold out of Villa Rica and DeKalb County. On probation for a 2020 arrest in DeKalb for criminal damage to property, arson, reckless conduct, simple battery, death by taking. Another arrest in 2021 for arson in the 1st degree with a battery, 2020 obstruction. That's it.
All right, state.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. This incident took place February 26, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a trespass call at the Woods at Camp Creek Apartments. It's located at 3256 Kenilworth Drive. Well, the actual apartment location was 3256 Kenilworth Drive, apartment 14 in East Point. Upon arrival, officers met with the property manager, Risa Lee. She advised that apartment 14 had not been leased and no one should have been inside of it. She also advised that Sharon Davenport has never been a resident of the complex and did not have authority to be inside the empty apartment. Ms. Davenport advised the officer that she entered the apartment with several of her belongings to spend the night. When asked for her name and date of birth, she refused to provide the officer with that information. Officers were able to verify her identity only after being brought to the jail and fingerprinted. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the woods at Camp Creek. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
All right. And that's PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation of the study.
All right. I'm going to order a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial. Should be
Can you
able.
order that through the jail, please?
Report.
She got 2 holds.
Okay, so she's not going. I'll be gonna be out, obviously. All right. We'll do that through the jail to be released to her folds, whichever gets there first, I guess. So the breakdown, Miss Bridgewater will be 1,500 on the criminal trespass, and then on the obstruction, 1,000.
Okay,
No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the woods at Camp Creek apartment complex. Stay away from the whole complex. Sounds like she does not live there, so you cannot return to that complex. Also, I don't know if you want no further contact with Risa Lee or not. She just a person that works there. Is she a victim or not?
No, Your Honor, she's not a victim. I think she's just a property manager.
Just
She
the
knows
property
that she's-
manager.
Right, so
I'll take off the no further contact then. Just stay away from that complex, Miss Davenport.
yes.
All right, that should conclude this case, I believe.
Yes. We have 2 votes.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to Rashonda James.
Okay.
Have it as position number 5.
24 CR 0000943. Rashonda James charged with 1 count of simple assault, family violence. Pretrial.
3rd arrest. 2014 marijuana possession. Dismissed. 2012 assault. Jail was the recommendation.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place February 27, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 1739 Bolton Road, Northwest Atlanta. Upon arrival, they met with Rashonda James, who stated that she and Christopher Jackson were involved in a verbal dispute over a missing smart device. She was able to track the device to the front seat of Mr. Jackson's car. Upon finding the device, she noticed that it was damaged. She then approached Mr. Jackson to confront him about the damage. There was an exchange of words, and she attempted to grab a handgun from her purse. Mr. Jackson then grabbed the gun, or the purse, so she could not grab the gun. Mr. Jackson told the officers that he allowed Miss James to come to his residence to look for her device. When she found it, she came to where he was sitting. She stood over him, told him that he was going to get her device repaired. When he declined to repair the device, she continued to stand over him in an aggressive manner with her hands clenched in fists. Mr. Jackson and another witness, Vernon Green, had asked Miss James to leave the residence several times before she reached into her purse
Still has not seen.
and stated, "I have something for you." Mr. Jackson then grabbed Miss James to prevent her from retrieving the handgun from her purse. Mr. Jackson, Mr. Green, and another witness, Miss Adrian Jackson, the sister of Mr. Jackson, began fighting with Miss James to gain possession of the purse and the gun. Mr. Jackson's two children also walked in with Miss Jackson and witnessed the struggle of the purse. There was a third child who Mr. Jackson shares with Miss James, who was also present during the altercation. Our office has been in touch with Mr. Jackson. He states that he and Miss James are not in a relationship. They do not live together. They do share the one child. The incident location is his home, and he confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated this is not the first time that Miss James has put a gun on him, but it's the first time that he's called the police. He also stated that she's made threats towards him and his family. He's filed a TPO yesterday and wants no contact with the defendant and wants her to stay away from the residence. He indicated he will be on Zoom, so we can sound for the victim at the conclusion of the presentation. And Your Honor, the state did seek to upgrade this charge, and we are concerned based on the history and after speaking with the witness and some of the behavior, the state is requesting a $10,000 surety bond, an anger awareness course, no further contact with Christopher Jackson or the minor children, stay away from 1739 Bolton Road Northwest, surrender all firearms, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. This your case, Ms. McLeod?
It is, Your Honor. My client is 29 years old. She is the mother of a 2-year-old child for whom she is the primary caregiver. She denies the allegations in the warrant, Your Honor, and she tells me that she was the one who called the police. She also indicates to me that Mr. Jackson and his sister jumped her. They attacked her. She absolutely denies that she made any threats or anything. She said she just wanted her phone because he had taken her phone and she just wanted to retrieve her phone. And she was the one who actually called the police. My client does not have any significant history. So based on that, I would ask the court to give her a signature bond through the jail. She does not live in Fulton County. She has her own residence, which is in Dallas, Georgia, Your Honor. So Fulton County is a bit far for her. And given the fact that she has no significant history, I think a signature bond is appropriate. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, sorry to interrupt. If we can sound for Mr. Jackson, I'm not sure if he's one of those unidentified users.
Your Honor, I
Right.
called and spoke with him and he indicated to me that he was driving and he would not be on the Zoom.
All right. And no,
Hello?
Mr. Christopher Jackson.
Yes, I'm on Zoom.
All right. In order to speak or address the court, I have you turn on your camera, your video, I have to be able to see you.
Okay, okay. Let me try to figure out how to do that, man. I see it at the bottom. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you wish to address the court today, Mr. Jackson, briefly?
No. Well, yes, kinda. I just this.
Hold on a second. If you do, I have to swear you in. And
Yes, ma'am.
This is not your trial. This is a bond hearing. So
Yes,
raise your
ma'am.
right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, put your hand down for me. Are you in fear of Miss Rashonda James?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you want to have any further contact with her?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, those are my main two questions. I don't know what else you have to add. I understand you all share a child together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who lives at 1739 Bolton Road?
I do.
Okay.
My client does not live there, Your Honor. She has her own residence and the child is not legitimated.
Okay, it's not. All right. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Counsel, do you all have any? Cross-examination of Mr. Jackson?
No questions from the state, Your Honor.
Okay,
None from the defense.
all right. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You can mute yourself. And I'm getting ready to give my ruling. And Miss McLeod, how old is their child? Do you know?
2
Small
years
child?
old. 2 years
How
old.
old? 2, okay.
Yes.
Um, and state, I understand your request is for a $10,000 surety bond. Is that due to the number of witnesses, and the gun in the purse, or what is that request based upon?
Yes, Your Honor, that request is based upon the presence of the gun. And after speaking with the witness or the victim, that this is not the first time that the gun has been used. And Your Honor, if I may ask one question of the victim.
Mhm.
Mr. Jackson, are you still with us?
Mr. Jackson? Mr. Jackson? He may have stepped away. Mr. Jackson?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, I know Mr. Jackson's not here, but I'll just cut to the point. They share a 2-year-old together. I don't know where the child was at while they were wrestling over this gun, but like ASG Graham said, this is not the first time a gun has been used, and the fact that they have a child and they're tussling over a gun as his child's mother is trying to pull it out and use it on him after she said, "I have something for you," is very concerning, not only for our victim, but also for their 2-year-old child. So that also was the basis for our $2,000 surety bond request. Very concerning.
Your Honor, my client is the primary caretaker for
Excuse
this
me.
child.
Hold on.
Ex-
Hold on, Mr. Jackson. Go ahead, Attorney McLeod.
Yeah, she's the primary caretaker for this child. These are just allegations. She denies them absolutely. And I believe, based on what I heard, the firearm was in her purse and he took the purse from her. There was nothing about her brandishing it or anything. Perhaps he knows that she has a firearm. She has a right to bear arms. There was, he may have thought that she was going to use it. He took her purse from her. Those are the facts as alleged. It's not like she took a gun out and was pointing it at anyone. He
Well,
knows
that's
she
because
had
he
a gun
took
in
her
her
purse
purse.
from her. She said, "I have something for you," and then attempted to pull the
That's an
gun out.
allegation. People will say things.
But the victim's here, so
Right.
She's the one who called the police.
I know, Mr. Jackson.
Well, I'm sorry I was having trouble unmuting. I'm not used to this. But all I was gonna say in my defense, yes, she's the one that called the police. And if you want run that 911 dispatch call back, she's telling you that yes, I pulled my gun on him. Listen at the call. So for you to say that she did this and did that, she called the police and she's telling the dispatcher that yes, she pulled the gun.
Okay. And you stated you're in fear of her and don't want any more contact, correct?
No, not if she's gonna keep pulling the gun on me. If I'm sitting down and I just say no, I'm not paying for. And to add one more thing, if you just came to find your phone that I helped you look for 2 days, if I had any malicious intent, I would have never let her in my home to look for a phone that I hid or I damaged. That's kind of moving backwards when you have a child with each other. I'm going to create a whole game for us to play, for us to argue and fight. If she came to find her phone, she found her phone. She could have just kept going about her business. But obviously, the phone was not all of her business because she found the phone and then created more trouble.
Okay. I think I'm going to order a $7,500 surety bond, and that surety bond will come with conditions of no drugs, no weapons, no guns, no alcohol. Miss James has any guns or this particular gun in her possession. She needs to turn him over to the sheriff's department immediately. Stay away from 1739 Bolton Road Northwest. And no further contact with Christopher Jackson. And I guess I can't order her to not have any contact with the child that's in her possession. But there are no
Child, he has no right to that child. The child is not legitimated.
right. And the child is in her care, I guess, or will be in her care when she gets out. But
Yes.
no, there's no cruelty charges here yet. So I'll let them work out visitation somehow, however the parties want to do that. But remember, Mr. Jackson, she is to stay away from you just as well as you stay away from her. So don't let the visitation mess you up or
Understood.
mess her up. So you'll have to, if visitation is going to be allowed, let me just throw this out there, it must be facilitated by a third party. Because the two of you can't be around each other. So find a third party who'd be willing to help you all if she allows visitation. Okay.
Understood.
All right. Thank you.
So, Your Honor, you're saying it's a $7,500 surety bond?
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Next, we have position number 3, Bang.
Baines? Okay.
I think that's the last name.
This is 24 CR 00942. Tiana Fain charged at 1 count of battery family violence.
Fifth arrest, 2016 DUI conviction, 2016 battery dismissed, 2019 resisting and operating a motor vehicle without license conviction. This was level 1.
All right, Your Honor, this incident took place February 28th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a fight in progress call at 724 Plainville Drive, Atlanta. Upon arrival, the officer did meet with Tiana Fain, who advised that she was involved in a dispute that became physical. During the dispute, Chase Zachary Hill confronted her about leaving the door open. The open door would cause their grandmother to leave the home without notice. During the verbal dispute, Ms. Fain picked up her grandmother's walker to move it out of the way, and Mr. Hill grabbed the walker to take it away from her. Mr. Will advised that Ms. Fain picked up the walker and held it as if to use it as a weapon against him, so he grabbed it to prevent her from hitting him with it. Ms. Fain then began to attack him by hitting him with closed fists. He tried to stop her from hitting him by holding her wrist, but ended up with multiple lacerations to his face as a result of the attack. Ms. Fain then went outside to her vehicle. She grabbed a crowbar and a pocket knife. Mr. Hill advised that he feared what she would do with those weapons, so he locked the door and the window, preventing her from re-entering the home. Mr. Hill was transported to Grady for his injuries. And, Your Honor, based on the history, the state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, anger awareness, no further contact with Chase Zachary Hill, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Our office has not been in contact with Mr. Hill, but if we can sound for him in accordance with Marcy's law.
All right. And tell me the name again to see if she's on this call.
His name is Chase.
I'm sorry, his
Hill.
name.
Chase Hill.
Chase Hill. I was trying to see, we don't have any other iPhones or unidentified things, right? Miss Bridgewater, I don't see him. Chase Hill. All right. Go ahead, PD Cook.
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. It's my understanding that Mr. Hill is about 5'8" and 300 pounds, which is much bigger than my client. The grandmother in this case has dementia. My client takes care of her. Again, I believe the alleged victim lives in Douglasville, so there would be no reason for a stay away from the Plainville Drive address. As far as no further contact with Mr. Hill, she would welcome that. And we would be asking for signature only bond.
Okay. I'm going to order $3,500 surety bond. And with that surety bond, no further contact with Chase Hill. And I think you said we don't need to do the stay away, correct?
Well, Your Honor, according to the warrant, it says Mr. Hill came out of his room at the residence, so it's
Oh, so he does. Okay. So
it
let's
appears
do
that he
stay
does.
away from that Plainville Drive. And then no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else? Did I leave out anything?
Your Honor, could we ask that the accused be able to go back one time with a law enforcement officer to determine if Mr. Hill is in fact living there? If he's not, she could go back to her residence.
If Mr. Who still resides there?
I think the allegation is that Mr. Hill still lives in that address. Our position is that he lives in Douglas.
Okay, one-time law enforcement escort to sweep the property. And if there are no belongings there for Mr. Hill, no male belongings there, then she can reside there. If there are male belongings there, then she cannot. And please make sure, Ms. Fain, you have a police escort.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 6, Savannah Jenkins.
All right, position 6, Savannah Jenkins, 24 CR 000944, charge of 1 count of battery family violence. Retrial.
7 total. Got an open ag assault in Superior Court. It's 23 SC 191126. That's ag assault, possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Open case out of state court for giving false name, and an open simple battery. Well, 2 of them. 2021 simple battery. That's all.
Okay, state.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on February 28, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 4478 Favored Way in Union City. Upon arrival, the officer met with Dwight McCrary, who stated that his girlfriend, Savannah Jenkins, punched him in the head after coming home intoxicated around 5 a.m. After she hit him, he jumped out of bed, chased her, pinned her against the wall before she fell to the floor. He then called the police. There's a video recording that he showed the police of him in bed with Miss Jenkins approaching him with an item in her hand. And the video kind of skipped out right as she hit him. The officer observed a lump on Mr. McCrary's head that appeared to be swelling. Miss Jenkins advised that Mr. McCrary had become upset because of how she got into the bed and a verbal altercation began. She stated that he pushed her off the bed and she may have hit him back as a result. The officer observed bruising on her hand with peeled skin near the knuckles. She stated that she received the bruising from a rug burn. Our office has been in touch with Mr. McCrary. He did let us know that he and Miss Jenkins are in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. They share no children. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated that Miss Jenkins has become upset and damaged property in the home in the past, but this is the first time she's been violent towards him. He stated this is the first time that he's called the police, that he's not in fear of her and is okay with having contact, and he's okay with her returning to the residence. He did indicate that he will be on Zoom, so if we can sound for Ms. McCrary at the end of our presentation. And in light of the history, Your Honor, and the open cases, the state is requesting a $1,000 surety bond. ADET, we're still going to ask for a no further contact with Dwight McCrary, to stay away from incident location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And then we would like to hear from Ms. McCrary before the ruling.
All right, I see Dwight's iPhone. Is that Dwight McCrary?
Yes, it is.
All right, can you get your video camera going?
Okay.
Oh, I see you. All right, do you wish to address the court today?
Well, basically everything.
Yes or no?
Was...
Yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Okay, raise your right hand for me so I can swear you in. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. First, let me ask you, are you in fear of Miss Savannah Jenkins?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have any further contact with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Those are my only two questions. Again, this is not your trial. It's a bond hearing. So I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I'm just trying to determine the bond today. Okay.
Do I have anything else to add?
I said, I don't know if you do, but this is only a bond hearing today. This is not the trial. So you said you want to have contact and you're not in fear of her. So those are my two concerns.
Okay, no, and just try to get her out on the lowest amount possible. That's
Okay.
my only concern. Yeah.
All right. I didn't get it. Are you all married or just residing together?
Residing together.
Okay. All right. No children together?
Nah.
Okay.
No children.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any cross-examination by either attorney?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask the court to give my client a signature bond. She tells me that currently she is employed, but not on a regular basis. Her employment is sporadic, so she doesn't have any income to pay for a bond. Although the state has stated some arrests, I don't believe I heard any convictions. So that is why I'm asking for a signature bond for my client. The alleged victim has made it clear that he's not afraid of my client. And she tells me that it was just a misunderstanding between them. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order a $2,500 surety bond. And with that surety bond, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. No further violent contact with Dwight McCrary. I won't order the stay away.
Your Honor, the state had recommended $1,000. Good bond.
She's got a 7.
Go along with what the state recommends, of course.
Right. She has seven total cycles in an open ag assault. I'm assuming, I guess we're saying she's not going to go anywhere immediately. I will bring it down to 1,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, 1,500 surety bond.
Thank you.
And that will conclude this case.
Next, we have resolution number 12, Gabrielle Williams
Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
All right. You said 12 Gabrielle Williams or Gabrielle Williams?
Yes.
Okay. 24 CR 0000950. Charge of 1 count of theft of services. Retrial.
8 total. 2024 disorderly conduct obstruction. 2023 theft of services conviction. 2022 simple battery felony obstruction arrest. A couple of 2022 theft of services arrest. A couple of 2022 trespass arrests. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean, in this case, the defendant went to Lush Nail Bar located at 639 Holcomb Bridge Road. She received $95 worth of services. At that time, she attempted to pay. She was unable to pay. The owner gave her additional day to pay. She still refused to pay or was unable to pay after 24 hours. After listening to pre-trial here that she has a 2022 arrest in I'm not sure what jurisdiction, but the charge was theft of services and a 2023 conviction for theft of services. And here we are yet again with another theft of services. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond. Of course, we're asking for a stay away from Lush Nail Bar, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. PD Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client, Miss Williams, is 29 years old, and she has 4 minor children that she actually one birth and quadrupled. She got 4 babies at the same time. So she is a single mother with a 1-year-old babies, and it is very hard financially. She was living with her father, and yet she had to she was kind of like she had to excuse herself to be out of that place. Right now, she is residentially challenged, going from hotel to hotel. She does have a disability, Your Honor. So we would like to request for signature on bond for this. The nail services was total $95.
I understand, but I think this is her second or third charge of that. I know at least second, right?
This is her third arrest,
Third.
and she has 1 previous conviction out of those 3 arrests, which was last year.
Okay.
And again, they gave her the opportunity to come back the next day, and she still didn't come back the next day. So,
All right. I will order the $1,500 surety bond. I will order the stay away from the Lush Nail Bar. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that's it.
nothing from the state.
All right. Who do you have next, Deputy?
Position number 7, John Tavares, John Travius Jones.
Okay. This is 24 CR 0000945. John Travius Jones, charged with 1 count of willful obstruction, law enforcement officer.
This is third adult arrest. He got an open possession of tools for the commission of a crime, loitering problem. They missing a number. Start with 22 CP though. Open case out of Clayton County. Appears to be for armed robbery, ag assault, simple battery. Possession of a firearm, possession of a pistol by a person under 18 years of age. He went to felony earlier, and I think that bond was 12.5. That's it.
All right. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place January 19th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to 154 Gordon Terrace Southwest in reference to a stolen vehicle being tracked to that location. The officer did observe the stolen vehicle in the rear of the house along with another stolen vehicle. While conducting inquiries on the occupants of the residence and having detained 2 of them, John Travis Jones walked out of the residence in an attempt to leave the scene. He was told by the officer that he could not leave due to the nature of the incident. He continued to walk away and was then detained. And Your Honor, based on the history of the open cases, the state is recommending signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 22 years old. He's lived in Georgia all his life. He is the father of one minor child. He's a high school graduate. He graduated from Frederick Douglass High School and also attended Atlanta Technical College. He works in construction. He does deny the allegations. Here, he's just charged with a willful obstruction, according to the warrant, walking away. He does deny the allegations. And I have no objection to the state's request of a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Okay. I'm going to order a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. I'll order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And what other conditions did the state request?
No further conditions, Your Honor.
That was it? I
That
guess that's why my notes were blank. I thought I missed something. It's like I didn't write anything down. All right. And so that's what it'll be, $2,000 SOB jail.
Next, Your Honor, good afternoon, ACDC,
Mm.
Position 1, Brittany Brumskin.
Okay. This is 24 CR 000940. Brittany Brumskin charged with one count of abandonment of dependent child and second count of simple battery against a police officer. What is the purge amount on that abandonment of a dependent child? It's usually preset. Anybody know?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
This
what else
isn't
do
a
you
child
have
support
pretrial?
case, Your Honor.
Huh?
This is not a child support case. This is a case where she actually.
Oh, it's
her
it's
child.
an incident. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. You know, I had child support on my brain. All right. Go ahead. Retrial.
I got fourth arrest, 2019 contempt of court conviction, 2018 malicious wounding conviction, 2018 FTA, and 2012 contempt of court.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on February 10th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a child abandonment call at the Quick Trip located 630 10th Street Northwest. Upon arrival, the officer was approached by juvenile TD. He was carrying a suitcase, advised that he was looking for his mother, Brittany Brumskin. He had been walking around for about an hour. He said he and his mother were at the MARTA bus stop at Northside Drive and 10th Street when she told him she was going to the bathroom, but she never returned. The officer did not find Miss Brumskin at the bus stop or anywhere in the vicinity. The officer was informed by QT staff that the juvenile was a resident at a local shelter. The officer was able to make contact with Ms. Brumskin at the shelter via phone. She was unable to provide a clear response as to why the child was by himself, only saying that he has ADHD and he was not by himself. The officer instructed her to come to the QT location where the child was. When Ms. Brumskin arrived at the location, she appeared to be under the influence of possibly alcohol or drugs. The officer also smelled an odor of alcohol while she was speaking. She was unable to provide a clear response as to her whereabouts while the child was alone at the QT. She informed the officer that she had not taken any drugs, but she did have some wine. After being detained and placed in the rear of the patrol vehicle, Ms. Brumskin began kicking the back door and the glass of the vehicle. The aggressive behavior continued while in the precinct, causing the officer to tell her to calm down several times. While attempting to restrain Ms. Brumskin, she kicked the officer in the lower leg, kicked her shoe at him, she yelled derogatory comments, and then spit on him. She was moved to another part of the precinct and placed in a spit mask. The state is recommending, Your Honor, a signature bond through pretrial services ADET, no further violent contact with Officer Reynolds, the officer involved in the incident, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
All right,
This is P.D. Cook's case.
oh, P.D. Cook, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, Your
Oh.
Honor.
Wake up, PD Cook.
I was awake. I was taking notes on Mr. Graham's, very, astute or, detailed, recommendation. I would call it astute, but I'll say detailed. Your Honor, we have no objection to the state's recommendation.
All right.
If I can add, I do apologize. I'm sorry, Mr. Cook, I know you're paying close attention. We'd also like for Ms. Brumskin to remain compliant with any defects, orders, or rulings that may be in place.
Okay.
Yes, right. Yeah, I think that, yeah, without saying, sure, no problem.
All right, I will order on the first count, $1,500, and on the second count, 1,000. So that'll be $2,500 signature bond. Through, and I don't know,
It was level 1.
level 1, through pretrial level 1. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Comply with any and all defects, orders, and instructions. And I think that's it. Did I leave out anything?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Okay.
Next, we have position number 8, Kenny Ballmill.
This is 24 CR 000946 Zach Quamel Kinney. Charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, a 2nd count of willful obstruction, law enforcement officer, pre-trial.
Got 7 total. Open theft by receiving out of the cab. Open armed robbery, ag assault, hijacking motor vehicle out of Clayton County, along with the theft by taking and battery. On probation in Clayton, hit and run, theft by taking and burglary. 2014, they gave him 1 year to serve, and then 4 years probation. So that should time out sometime this year. 2022, simple battery, cruelty to children, obstruction. 2020, probation. That's all.
Okay. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. There are 2 separate incidents from 2 separate dates. The first one is October 23rd, 2022. Catrice Jackson met with officers after reporting a domestic dispute. They met with her, and she advised that Quamel Kinney had pushed her with an open hand, causing her to fall, and she scraped her left arm. She was pregnant at the time of this incident. The second incident happened November 30th, 2022. Ms. Jackson once again called to report domestic dispute. She advised that after an argument, Mr. Kinney left the location and returned shortly after. Ms. Jackson would not let him back into the residence. He broke the front glass door using his hands. He left the residence once he was advised that law enforcement was on the way. Mr. Kinney fled the scene and hid from officers in the wood line near the intersection of Cedar Grove Drive and South Fulton Parkway. This incident, the November 30th incident, took place at 7840 The Lakes Point in South Fulton. It appears to be the residence of a family friend where they were staying at the time. Our office has not been in contact with Ms. Jackson. We're unable to reach her. And based on the history, Your Honor, some of the violent past and the open cases, the state is requesting a $1,500 surety bond, a no further contact with Catrice Jackson, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if we can sound for Ms. Catrice Jackson in accordance with Marcy's law.
Okay, is it Patrice Jackson? Patrice Jackson. I don't think we have any more victims or witnesses on there, do we? Looks, well, who's the Samsung bottom?
Your Honor, he tells me that she is incarcerated in Clayton County.
Oh, okay. Well, that may help explain it. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Todd.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 22 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life, and he is the father of a 10-month-old child with the complaining witness. He states that, I mean, this incident happened in 2022, both incidents. And I would like to point out that there's only one charge for a battery family violence, and the other is only a willful obstruction. It's not, there's no family violence or any other charge associated with that November 30th incident. My client is the father of the 10-month-old child with the complaining witness. He is the sole caregiver for that child right now. He's also pursuing his GED through the Perry Learning Center. Your Honor, I know that there is some history, and the state has requested a $1,500 surety bond. I would like to ask for a signature bond through pretrial services at whatever level Your Honor finds appropriate. He does need to, get back to work, taking care of this 10-month-old child. He does have a good address and understands his obligation to return to court. And he did turn himself in, Your Honor.
I'm going to order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I just realized looking at this occurred in 2002.
2022, Your Honor.
Oh, the calendar's wrong.
Oh,
October 23rd, right? Or no?
yes, Your Honor, October 23rd, 2022.
Make sure that everybody else sees it. Doesn't it say 2002?
Yes, it does, Your
Okay,
Honor.
okay.
The calendar.
You're making me think I need to get my glasses fixed today, 2022. But again, it is some months back. I'm assuming everything has kind of calmed down by now. And hopefully so. So I'll grant that signature bond through the jail. Let's see, Ms. Bridgewater, that breakdown on the battery. 1,500 on the obstruction, 1,000. So that'll make 2,500. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I didn't write anything else. Any other conditions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have position number 11, Michael Tyson.
Okay. This is 24 CR 0000949. Michael Tyson charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Pre-trial.
29 total. On probation in Gwinnett for trafficking cocaine. 2017, they gave him 10 years to serve and 25 years probated. Also on probation for ag assault, possession of meth out of DeKalb County. He got a parole hold too for the ag assault. 2022 probation, 2018 FTA, 2012 FTA. That's it.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1474 Mosley Place, where they met with the victim, Ms. Takoya Riley. She advised that her and the defendant were in a relationship and they reside together. They were having a verbal disagreement, at which point he became physical. She was laying in the bed. He pulled her off of the bed and got on top of her and then punched her in the head multiple times. The state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out bond. And then, of course, I'm not sure if Miss Riley is on the line, but I think that's, yeah, T. Riley. We would sign for the victim, Miss T. Riley or Takoya Riley.
All right, Miss Kara. I think I see a T. Riley at the bottom. Miss Riley, do you wish to address the court today?
Yes.
All right, turn on your camera for me. All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you in fear of Mr. Tyson?
No.
Okay. Do you want to have any further contact with Mr. Tyson?
I mean, I don't mind. Just no violent contact.
Okay. Any cross-examination questions by either counsel?
Briefly. Hi, Miss Riley. My name is Ian Walker. I'm the prosecutor handling the case today. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thank you. I understand that you and Mr. Tyson have been in a relationship. Is this the first time he's been violent with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not the victim in his other aggravated assault case?
No.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
May I please ask, I was wondering, have you moved out from the place, 1474 Mosley Place?
I mean, I still have stuff there because that was like my primary place of living. So as of right now, I'm still trying to figure out where my child and I are going to go.
No problem. Your Honor, Mr. Tyson is 49 years old, and he has been here in Georgia ever since 2010. So more than 33 years he's been here, and he is gainfully employed. He works at a nonprofit organization called Outreach. He is a case manager helping people to have housings and things like that. He graduated from high school. He does have 3 years of college, construction and psychology major. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial. He is okay with a no further contact, and as long as he can return home. I believe that 1474 Mosley Place is actually his residency, and there's another peril violence anyway that he has to face. So we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial for battery family violence.
And Your Honor, briefly, if I could just ask the victim just a couple more questions.
Okay.
Miss Riley, are you currently pregnant with the defendant's child?
Yes, sir.
How far along are you?
5 months.
Okay, how long have you resided at the Mosley Place address?
I've been there since middle of September.
Of 23, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Riley. So of course we'll ask for the stay away. At this point, this is her legal address. As the court knows, once you reside somewhere for longer than 30 days, that becomes your legal residence because you are a tenant at will, whether you're invited or not. And in this case, she was invited because she's pregnant with this child as of 5 months. So we would ask for that stay away as long as she is residing at that location.
Okay.
Mr. Tyson, you have a right to remain silent. We are going to get a bond for you. We don't want to discuss anything about the facts of the case.
Okay.
I understand. I just wanted to address the court and say that, my actions the other night was uncalled for.
All right. This is a bond hearing. Be careful. Be careful.
I understand. My actions was uncalled for. We went through something and we had an argument and it went too far on both of us. I understand that. I love her. She's I'll be 50 years old this year. She's 32, which is a lot younger. And we're expecting a child. And I would like to be able to put all this behind us and move forward. This is not something I'm used to. I was outreach coordinator for Anise Inc. downtown. I used to do HIV testing. I'm currently working for Zaban, Paradise Center, and on Peachtree Street. The church temple for the Jewish community. I work there as an outreach case manager. I go out to the tents every day and I try to recruit people to try to help find them housing. I'm not a bad person. I made a lot of bad choices in my life, but I finally got a grip on everything in my life. I'm working hard. I pay all the bills. I take care of her and her son as well. And I just want that to be acknowledged that I'm not a bad man. I made bad choices as a child growing up. But I'm not a bad person now, and I'm working hard to try to continue to change my life and continue to help other people with their lives and keep helping the city of Atlanta find housing for the homeless.
Okay. All right. Like I say, this is not the trial.
Understand.
This is a bond hearing. And
Wait,
tell
did I
me,
hear that correct? He has an open ag assault? Did I make that
huh?
up? Does he have an open ag assault, Mr. Howard? Mr. Howard,
Yeah. What's your question?
does he have an open ag assault?
Are we still on Tyson?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you
Oh,
sleep?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got a parole hold.
Okay.
I don't think you said what for or anything, right?
I said Exo.
Okay.
Parole for
Did
the
you?
assault.
Okay. Thank you. Just want to clarify that.
Oh,
I just want to clarify. Like I said, the state has concern. He's 50, she's 32, she's 5 months pregnant. He's on parole for aggravated assault. And I mean, he beat her pretty badly. So I understand
Your
that.
Honor, we are here only for battery family violence charge. I don't think it should be, since he has to face another big fish, like
Well, your criminal history is
violence.
relevant as far as
I
the
know.
IALA factors, as far as your likelihood of committing a new felony or a violent offense in this instance. So
Right. I am very concerned for the victim in this case. Very concerned for the victim.
My client is willing to stay away and have no further contact, and yet he does need to get a signature on bond so he can get back to his work. He's the one who's paying for everybody here, and it's very important for him to be able to provide financially.
All right. I'm going to order $2,500 surety bond. 'Cause there's still, regardless, you all, there's 29 cycles. And then the probation hold.
parole hold.
Parole hold. I'm sorry, parole hold. So $2,500 surety bond. And what were the other state recommended conditions?
it was a no contact, a stay away, and then of course no weapon drug. I mean, well, he can't have weapons because he's a convicted felon, but no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. And that would be it.
Next, we have position number 13, Winfrey Wood.
Okay. Willie Winfrey, 24 CR 0000951, pretrial. I'm sorry, theft by shoplifting, pretrial.
16 total. 2023, giving false name. On probation for theft by taking out of Cobb County. I got an open giving false name. 2021 probation. 2021 parole violation and an 09 robbery conviction. That's it.
Okay. State.
In this case, Your Honor, the law enforcement was dispatched to 2900 Peachtree Road, which is a Publix. Essentially, the defendant was shoplifting. He stole 4 steaks and a brisket. He was detained or apprehended with said steaks and brisket on his person that he did not pay for. The state is asking for a $1,500 surety bond, and that's due solely to his criminal history for robbery and his other theft convictions. We are obviously asking for a stay away from the Publix located at 2900 Peachtree Road. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Winfrey is 59 years old, and he is actually, he applied for disability so that way he can make a living. Right now, he has not had any job. He is financially indigent. He is not able to afford any kind of bond. He completed up to 11th grade, and he actually resides at friend's place. However, he is actually residentially challenged as well. He does not have any financial means to pay for the bond. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial. I do understand he had some histories, and yet the total amount of the food was $169.64.
Okay. Well, the history is a little concerning here. So I will grant the $1,500 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the incident location. And was there a victim here?
It's the public, so we'll just.
Okay. The citizens of Fulton County, but stay away from the Publix. Stay away from that Publix, please.
Your Honor, right now there's a $780 good bond for theft by shoplifting. I was wondering if we can do like $1,000 good bond in the middle.
16 totals. Said other thefts, correct?
I think we had a robbery conviction and a theft by taking conviction, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at the 1,500, Peter Kim.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have position number 4 is a medical reset.
4. Okay, medical reset. That's Fields.
Yes.
Okay.
Position number 10 is bond was paid, you made bond.
They made bond, okay.
And what's that defendant's last name on 10?
Ruffin.
Ruffin, okay.
And then position number 9, Keonis Jonah waived his appearance, so we can go to position 9.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time hearing her. So what was the,
Yeah.
on number 9?
Waiver, so we can do that one now.
Okay, okay.
Right. 24 CR 000947, Joanna Quinones or Quinones. Not sure how to pronounce that. Quinones, thank you. 1 count of battery, family violence. Pre-trial.
Holly, did you get number 10 was released?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Quinones, 20 total. Has a hold out of DeKalb County for burglary. Open case out of Fulton, possession of meth, theft by possession of stolen mail, obstruction, suspended license, or cancel. DeKalb County got an open possession of tools for the commission of a crime, possession of meth, financial transaction card theft by receiving, theft by taking. Open case out of Douglas County for obstruction, battery in a public transit vehicle. 2023 probation, 2023 fade to appear. 2022 battery DV, battery obstruction conviction. 2022 probation, 2021 obstruction, simple battery DV conviction. 2019 possession of meth conviction, and a 2018 probation.
All right.
So apparently the defendant obviously has a lengthy criminal history. We are waiting to hear back from the DA's office as this is his second battery family violence. But in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1940 Fisher Road. They met with the victim, whose name is Dexter Davis. He advised that he and his roommate were having a disagreement, at which point Mr. Quinones became violent and punched him several times. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond that stay away from that incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol, along with no contact with the victim.
All right. PD Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He has lived in Georgia for 15 years. Much of that time, he did graduate from Douglas County High School. And a lot of the years that he's been here, he has been struggling with housing and has been residentially insecure. This incident happened in August of last year when he was living in a community restoration project, some kind of housing, and had a roommate. The warrant says that something was thrown. The complaining witness didn't know what was thrown. Your Honor, he does deny the allegations. He's planning to work as a freelance makeup artist, and is planning on or is living with his mother in Douglasville. So a stay away is fine. No further contact is fine. He's trying to get his life together. He won't be, returning to that community restoration project. Will be living in Douglasville with his mom. I know there's some history, Your Honor, but he is trying to get his life together, and he has a holdout of DeKalb County. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. He does understand his obligation to return to court and, is not a flight risk.
And he has the hold in DeKalb. Does anyone talk to the victim at all?
I mean, I think the incident was from August
We were unable to
2023.
make contact with the victim, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's 2023.
Yes.
Okay. Got some history, so I will I think I'll just go with the $2,000 surety bond. With that surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or drugs while on bond. Stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Dexter Davis. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns. I think I've already said that. That's it. Stay away. No further contact with Mr. Davis. Anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
On you, Miss Bridgewater.
Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is March the 14th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $2,500 SOB through pretrial. 2 is reset further notice with a total $2,500 SOB through the jail. 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 good bond. Position 4 is medically reset till tomorrow. 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $7,500 good bond. 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. 7 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 8, reset further notice with a total $2,500 SOB through the jail. 9, SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 10 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 11, SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. 12, SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. And 13, SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
No, ma'am, not for me.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
Goodbye.
everybody. Oh, gee, you sound too happy to go.
I have
Good
a
to
question,
see
Ms.
you,
Molly.
Deputy. Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
Position 1 was what did she get again for position 1?
a $2,500 SOB through pretrial. On the abandonment, it was a $1,500 SOB through pretrial. And on the simple battery, it was a $1,000 SOB through pretrial.
Okay, good. So she'll be getting out. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. All right,
All
thank you.
right
Have a
then.
good one. All
Okay,
right,
Good to see you
bye-bye.
bye-bye,
guys.
everyone.